you have to run your rules from your track. Well, here in the Northwest, not all the tracks are on the same page when it comes to rules for the Hornet division, and we've seen that work to some guys' favors from the North. Last year's winner was in a... Sam, what car was that? That thing had the big old wing on the back and was... what was that car?
I'm drawing a blank.
Was it a Mitsubishi? I can't remember. It really, it looked like something you'd see in a video game. And he was bad to the bone, fast, and there was a lot of guys complaining, hey, wait a second, that's not legal. Well, based upon how these rules are put together, yeah, it's legal. They try to make it as fair for everybody as they can, but what do you do when you've got 4 different tracks being represented with 4 different sets of rules?
That's where the ingenuity comes in.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. And you know how I feel about that. I'm all for ingenuity in motorsports. And I think a lot of where we're at today, rules being so uniform, especially with IMCA, we've talked about that here the last couple of weeks, it's really taken a lot of that away. When you see these open comp shows like we used to see with the big sideboards on cars and, pretty much unlimited rules.
Outlaw rules.
Yeah, that's cool racing.
Outlaw rules.
And this is kind of like the Hornet version of that. And it's always a great race. I think they start 24 of these cars or 26 of them. There's a bunch of them on the track.
Pretty sure it's like 26.
Yeah, and these guys get out there and they do it. It's fun to watch, but you can clearly see who's from where. You know what I mean? You'll have some fast guys from Willamette inside the top 5 or 6. And you'll have the guys from up north that, have to take their time to get through the field, depending on where they start, and they get to the front. And it's a great show to watch if you're really, especially if you like Hornet cars. It's very entertaining, but it's one of those deals where guys prepare for, and it happens every year. Somebody will win. Everybody says, "Oh, that car's not legal." By what terms? By what standard?
Whose terms?
Right. What standard are you using? Yeah, those cars are legal. They're approved before they get to the track. So it's going to be interesting because that thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. I think it's $1,000 to win. Am I right? Or is it $750?
I thought it was $750, but I could be wrong.
I think it's $750. Now, for a Hornet race, that's a big deal because
that's a lot of money.
Typically pays $50 to win the Hornet feature. Mm-hmm. Now we're going $750. It gives these guys something to race for. This is their big show of the year. It's going to be a fun deal to watch, and we'll see who can handle the heat and the track conditions and pull off.
I could even buy me a new set of tires for $750.
You could for your truck.
Yes,
absolutely. So Casey Scott, win number 4 in the season. I think that the rest of the field is going to struggle with that 30 car for the remainder of the season. He is on point right now. He's got it all figured out. From Hornets, we move to our street stock division. Of course, one of my favorite divisions, hands down. I love these cars. 11 of them qualified, and we had 9 actually start the feature. Qualifying with the 11 cars, at the bottom of the list was the 23 of Mary Kate True. Then it was Dom Conti, 10th fast. Kendall Irvine was 9th. Skylar Weinbarger was 8th. Brody Sim qualified 7th fast. Sean French was 6th. Jesse Yankee, now we've only seen him a couple times this year, and every time he unloads at Willamette, he's fast in that 13Y Camaro. He was 5th fast qualifier at 19.150. Top 4 cars were all in the 18-second bracket, and that was the 11 of Joey Cannon, 18.885. Just ahead of him was Shannon Horn in the 95. Again, a car we've only seen a couple times this year, and he's fast everywhere he goes. One of the guys chasing the Iron Giant deal. He was 3rd fast, 18.879. 8.85 to an 8.79, separated 3rd and 4th. That's pretty tight qualifying. 2nd fast was the 89 of Dakota Goddard with an 18.784, and just over a half a second faster than their 2nd place qualifier was the 99 of Justin Evans, who qualified with an 18.275. No surprise to see the 99 at the top of the speed chart. The way that car has been working since they debuted it, this thing has been a monster.
The Blue Monster.
The Blue Nightmare.
The Blue Nightmare.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep. Heat race number 1 was won by Justin Evans. He edged out Jesse Yankee by just over a second. Then it was Sean French, Skylar Weinbarger, Shannon Horn, and Mary Kate True. Heat race number 2, the winner was Dakota Goddard, the AMCO Transmissions Monte Carlo. Joey Cannon was second. Brody Sim was third. Kendall Irvine, Dom Conti. Now listen, I'm looking at this paper, and this doesn't make. Tell me if this is right, Sam. It's saying the margin of victory in this race for Dakota Goddard was 15.32 seconds. That's got to be a misprint. But it's saying 15, 18, and 19. I don't remember Dakota Goddard having a huge lead like that.
He had a bit of a stretch of a lead,
but not almost a full lap.
No.
15 seconds. Yeah. That's quite.
That's 3/4 of a lap or better.
Or better. Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at the footage.
We're gonna have to look at the videos. Yeah. That just doesn't seem right.
MoxieCam doesn't lie.
Yeah, that's right. Getting into the feature, man, these guys here, dollar for dollar. I say it all the time. Best value for the race fans. 2 cars did not start, and I don't know what happened to Jesse Yankee. He was one of the guys that didn't start the feature, along with Dom Conti. Dom had some issues on that car in the 3K. 9th place was Shannon Horn. Broke on lap 6. Sean French was 8th. He broke on lap 11. Mary Kate True finished 7th. She broke on the last lap. And 6th place went to Kendall Irvine. I think she's finished 6th 3 weeks in a row now. I mean, can you get any more consistent? She's right there in the edge of that real fast group. She is. 5th was Dakota Goddard. 4th place, guys. 4th place. Brody Sim in the 04. 14 years old.
Yep.
I am so impressed with this kid's patience, okay, to get through traffic and be smooth. And, he's bringing all that go-kart experience with him. Another young driver bringing a ton of go-kart experience with him and really getting dialed in. And, it's going to be a threat week in and week out from here on out is the 19W of Skylar Weinbarger, was 3rd in the feature. This kid, we've talked about him on the show several times now, truly is impressing pretty much everybody that watches him. I mean, what he's doing with that Camaro is, now they've had a couple issues with it where it gets, something, handling has been a little bit of an issue. I think they've got that dialed in watching that car last Saturday night. Sam, he was good.
Oh, yeah.
He was, he got that 19W, or the 19W car was dialed. He was, I think, last Saturday night, I think you'll probably agree to this, was better than he's looked all year.
He put a lot of consistent laps together. I don't know if he went into the race thinking I'm just going to hit my marks and do my thing, but he really let the race come to him instead of chasing it. It's that youthful excitement that sometimes burns you,
right?
Where you try to make it happen, and sometimes you got to back her down a little bit and let
Skylar
it
being Skylar Weinbarger, let's think about his genetics.
Yep.
He gets after it and goes for it. Like I said, this was the best we've seen him run, and like you said, he let the race come to him. He didn't go out and attack the track. He was smooth. He was consistent, and it paid off big time. So he got a top 3 finish. These guys in this division need to start thinking about this kid. And Brody Sim, too. These 2 young guys are just... Now, Brody Sim has made strides of improvement from the beginning of the season. He's been working with 2 different cars. He's back in the metric car, which he says he likes a lot better. These guys here, Brody and Skylar, are coming. They're coming, and, man, they're fast. I'm impressed with these young guys. 2nd spot went to the 11 of Joey Cannon. This guy has been on the verge of winning one. He's been so close so many times this year. I think before the season's over, he's going to nab one. I do. I can see that 11 car parked in victory lane.
Yeah, he's running consistent.
Very
consistent.
He's fast. He's got things figured out on that car now. We'll be talking to him in victory lane, I'm sure of it. And the winner for the 4th time this year in the 99, the Blue Nightmare, Justin Evans. What do you think the margin of victory was, Evans over Cannon?
The way my memory recalls, he only had like a corner lead on him was the biggest one he ever pulled, but there was so much action going on, I kept looking all around, so I'm not 100% sure.
1.2 seconds.
Yeah.
It was close. And those guys, I mean, they race each other. They had a really good race going. Really good race going. Man, all kinds of action over here at Jetstream.
I know.
From the street stocks, we move into the sportsman division. 11 cars qualified in the sportsman. And it was close. Qualifying between the top two was it was close. We'll get the top 5 in qualifying. Fit Fast qualifier was a 2A of Andy Brashears. Then we move into the 4 cars that were in the 17-second bracket. Steve Pfeiffer in the 75. Mm-hmm. Good qualifying effort for the 75 car, 17.960. Just ahead of him was a 25 of James Slover, 17.623. Now listen to this. Second fast qualifier was a 97 of Ryan Emery. Okay, he stopped the clocks with a 17.385.
17.385.
And fast qualifier was Jeff Rash in the 34 with a 17.348. That's close.
Yes, it is.
And those guys, the last couple of weeks, it's been the 34 and the 97 that have really been the dominant cars in this division. And, man, these guys are really, number one, 2 really good quality drivers that are clean. You know, that's what you want to see as a race fan. You want to see that clean side-by-side action. And these guys here will do it. They'll do it. I don't know who's going to end up as the points champion in this one because these guys are so back and forth with each other. It's crazy to watch. Heat race winners in the sportsman division. Heat race number 1 went to Jeff Rash. Heat race number 2, Ryan Emery. Okay. In the feature, 12 cars took the green flag. 1 car did not start, was Steve Pfeiffer. 12th place was Jeff Marson. Glenn Hackney was 11th. Alex Emery, the rookie in the 39, was 10th. Dave Still in the 5 car was 9th. Brad Lado was 8th. Andy Brashears was 7th. Eric Lindquist in the 333 was 6th. Going in the top 5 was the 55 of Casey Rhodes. 4th was the 25 of James Slover.
That guy right there.
It can be the game changer.
But I think in this race, from what I was watching, what I saw, he wanted to get to the front pretty quick, and I think he started overdriving the car, trying to force the race, and literally shut himself down.
I will agree to that statement 100%. Instead of, like you said, letting the race come to you, let the car start working, he went out and attacked the track. I don't know if the tires glazed over or what happened, but you're definitely right. He went a little too hard, a little too soon, I think. And
you start overdriving the car, trying to make it happen, and that gets you in trouble.
And I think that's exactly – and Sam hit it right in the head. That's exactly what happened with 25 because if you remember, didn't he win the week before?
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By a lot.
By a lot. Yeah, and that's a fast race car. And he does a great job and that car, let me tell you something about that car. It's a long ways from being new. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That car's been around a little bit. He does one heck of a job wheeling that number 25. But, Sam, I think you're absolutely right when you said that. He just went too soon. Showed his hand and got burned in the end.
Because he was coming. I mean, he was making moves.
He was coming until he got to about 4th place.
Yep.
And that's where he stayed. And if you remember, him and Clyde Root had a really good race going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm Slover in 4th place, right behind the 0 car, I'm going to be a little frustrated because that 0 car was blowing smoke and putting oil down the entire race. Okay, and I talked to Ryan Emery, and who was behind that car in the heat race, and he said, man, he goes like, hey, man, I had oil all over my shield. I had it all over my suit, and it was all over the front and the hood of my car. That thing's not just a little bit of oil. You guys saw how heavy that car was smoking.
It looked like he had a smoker in there, If he did, he'd have some really good ribs and beef, if it was over.
You're not kidding.
Jeez.
I mean, so here's my question about that car. If drivers reporting that the car's blowing oil and it's getting all over them and it's going down on the track, smoking, when do you throw the black flag?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm asking out of a safety concern. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, I noticed watching the Moxie Cam as they was racing, they'd come down and as he'd go into 1, boy, he'd just start pouring out, and especially when he'd come out of 4.
Yes.
Between 4 and 1, it was just pathetic.
Yes.
All the way to, and it was actually creating a fog over the racetrack.
It was.
So I moved out of the way